Hello, how's it going? My name is Bryce. This is my channel Striving Intellect, and I'm here to bring you a video about privatized space exploration. Very, very exciting. Well, let's get started. Initially, I found this article on Ground News. Great site, by the way. Private lunar lander Blue Ghost touches down on the moon with a special delivery for NASA. Firefly's Aerospace Blue Ghost lunar lander successfully landed on the moon on March 2nd, marking the company's first lunar lander attempt, which they nailed it on the first try. Congratulations. It's big, definitely really big. The lander is part of NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services Initiative and is carrying 10 scientific payloads for a 2-week mission. Blue Ghost completed a precision landing at 2:34 a.m. CST on Mare Crisium and is now engaged in a surface operation to gather data. Firefly Aerospace aims to continue lunar missions as stated by CEO Jason Kim, who emphasized the importance of science data for future lunar and Mars missions. All right, and we can go ahead and go to military.com. I have a couple other articles pulled up. Private lunar lander Blue Ghost aces moon touchdown with a special delivery for NASA. And this is a picture of the lunar lander touching down. It's the shadow of the lunar lander. Very artistic. Very cool. Very cool. Private lunar lander carrying a drill, vacuum, and other experiments for NASA touched down on the moon Sunday, the latest in a string of companies looking to kickstart a business on Earth's celestial neighbor ahead of astronaut missions. Firefly Aerospace Blue Ghost lander descended from lunar orbit on autopilot, aiming for the slopes of an ancient volcanic dome in an impact basin on the moon's northeastern edge of the near side, which means the side of the moon that we can see, not the dark side of the moon. Confirmation of a successful touchdown came from the company's mission control outside of Austin, Texas. That's what's up, Texas. Following the action of some 225,000 miles away. That's pretty far. You all stuck the landing and were on the moon. Firefly's Will Coogan, chief engineer from the lander, reported. An upright and stable landing makes Firefly a startup founded a decade ago, so it took them a decade to get up there, which still, congratulations. The first private outfit to put a spacecraft on the moon without crashing or falling over. Even the countries have faltered, with only 5 claiming success: Russia, the United States, China, India, and Japan. And if I'm not mistaken, India just recently, a couple years ago, put their first lander on the moon. A half hour after landing, Blue Ghost started to send back pictures from the surface. The first one of the selfies somewhat obscured the sun's glare. And I think I actually have a picture of that right there. We'll come over to this article in a second, but this is the picture they're talking about. The second shot included the home planet, a blue dot glimmering in the blackness of space. 2 other companies' landers are hot on Blue Ghost's heels, with the next one expected to join it on the moon later this week. Wow, that's pretty cool, honestly. I mean, this is the next place that we need to explore, obviously. It's the precipice of exploration, absolutely. But I'll go on. Blue Ghost, named after the rare U.S. species of fireflies, had its size and shape going for it. The squat 4-legged lander stands 6'6" tall and 11 inches wide, or 11 feet wide. Sorry. Providing extra stability according to the company. So it's a wide boy. Launched in mid-January from Florida, the lander carried 10 experiments to the moon for NASA. The space agency paid $101 million for the delivery, plus $44 million for the science and tech on board. It's the third mission under NASA's Commercial Lunar Delivery Program, which I think putting emphasis on privatized space exploration is actually an extremely smart move by NASA. By the way, it's the third mission under NASA's Commercial Lunar Delivery Program intended to ignite the lunar economy of competing private businesses while scouting around before astronauts show up later this decade. Firefly's Ray Allensworth said that the lander skipped over hazards, including boulders, to land safely. Allensworth said that the team continued to analyze data to figure out the lander's exact position, but all indications suggest it landed within 328 foot target zone of Mare Crisium. The demos should get 2 weeks of runtime before lunar daytime ends and the lander shuts down. So assumingly solar powered, and once the lunar daytime ends, it'll run out of battery life. It carried a vacuum to suck up moon dirt for analysis and drills to measure temperatures as deep as 10 feet below the surface. Also on board, a device for eliminating abrasive lunar dust, a scourge for NASA's long ago Apollo moonwalkers, who got it caked all over their spacesuits and equipment. On the way to the moon, Blue Ghost beamed back exquisite pictures of the home planet. The lander continued to stun once it in orbit around the moon, with detailed shots of the moon's gray, pockmarked surface. At the same time, an onboard receiver tracked and acquired signals from the U.S. GPS and European Galileo constellations. An encouraging step forward in navigation for future explorers. The landing set the stage for fresh crush of visitors angling for the piece of the lunar business. Another lander, a tall and skinny 15-footer, built and operated by Houston-based Initiative Machines, shout out to Houston, is due to land on the moon Thursday, so later this week. That's very soon, actually. It's aiming for the bottom of the moon, just 100 miles from the South Pole. That's closer to the pole than the company got last year in its first lander, which broke a leg and tipped over. So unsuccessful mission. This is their second mission. So hopefully this one is a success by Initiative Machines. It looks like it's going to be up there landing on Thursday. So I guess we'll see. Despite the tumble, Initiative Machines lander put the U.S. back on the moon for the first time since NASA astronauts closed out of the Apollo program in 1972. Man, yeah, that's like 50 years or more, actually. A third lander from the Japanese company InSpace is still 3 months from landing. It shared a rocket ride with Blue Ghost from Cape Canaveral in January 15th, taking a longer, windier route. Like Initiative Machines, iSpace is also attempting to land on the moon for the second time. The first lander crashed in 2023. The moon is landed with wreckage, not only from InSpace, but dozens of other failed attempts over the decades. NASA wants to keep up the pace of 2 privatized lunar landers a year, realizing some of the missions will fail, said the space agency's top science officer, Nikki Fox. It really does open a whole new way for us to get more science to space and the moon, Fox said. Unlike NASA's successful Apollo missions, landing that had billions of dollars behind them and ace astronauts at the helm, private companies operate on a limited budget with robotic crafts that must land on their own, said Firefly CEO Jason Kim. Kim said everything went like clockwork. We got some moon dust on our boots, said Kim. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. I'm just going to go over to this one real quick and show you this picture again. This is a picture that the lunar lander Blue Ghost took. Very pretty amazing. This is livescience.com. Blue Ghost Lunar Lander captured the sunrise of the moon and other stunning images after its successful touchdown on the lunar surface early on Sunday morning. So, absolutely amazing. This is groundbreaking, literally groundbreaking on the moon. It is absolutely the precipice of exploration. I would say that it is absolutely the next place that we should probably look into private exploration. And just to emphasize that, I pulled up another article. This is actually from February 5th, 2025. And I'm just going to read over a little bit. But private space exploration is very important for many reasons. But one of the many reasons is the resources that are out there. And space mining, for example, is one of the things that is going to be extremely profitable. But not only that, extremely important for the human race, right? So not only with future space exploration, but also with development on Earth as well. Because resources are limited, obviously. So this is an article about space mining. Green technologies, which generates energy from renewable resources, have never been a greater demand. But there is an environmental cost producing wind turbines, batteries, and electric vehicles or solar panels. The extraction of materials known as rare earth minerals and elements that are needed to build green technologies has inflicted some of the worst ecological damage on our planet, not to mention the horrible human atrocities mining these things. Not great. Definitely not great. So the idea basically is that we could possibly get these resources from asteroids or something of that sort. Bodies in outer space. And, you know, like, generally speaking, this might be a very poignant idea, seeing that rare earth minerals or something, or even beyond that. Like, there's tons of platinum and gold and other things like that on asteroids. So, obviously, this sector, private space exploration, private space mining, is extremely important for not only now, but also the future. And I just thought that was really interesting. The amount of elements on a lot of these different asteroids is just absolutely mind-blowing. Like, not even something that we can feasibly imagine. It's beyond our actual imagination. The amount of resources that are out there. Imagine a whole asteroid belt full of resources, for example. But, you know, I just thought this was really interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate the watch. And please like and subscribe. Thank you.